Hey, welcome to World Code Updates. Please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon for more updates. February 11, 2013, a date that would soon be etched into the memories of Malaysians and Filipinos alike. The world watched in suspense as a tense and unprecedented drama unfolded in the quiet coastal town of Lahad Datu, Sabah. Over 200 armed followers of the self-proclaimed Sultan of Sulu, Jamalul Kiram III, landed by boat, claiming ancestral rights to the land. Their arrival was sudden, but their intentions were rooted in a centuries-old dispute. What began as a historical disagreement quickly escalated, transforming into a deadly conflict that would grip the region for weeks. Malaysian security forces responded swiftly, surrounding the village and urging the group to surrender peacefully. Negotiations dragged on, but ultimately failed. With every passing hour, tension mounted and fear spread among the local population. The intruders, calling themselves the Royal Security Forces of the Sultanate of Sulu and North Borneo, stood their ground, refusing to back down or abandon their claim. For Lahad Datu's residents, daily life was thrown into chaos. Schools closed, businesses shuttered, and helicopters circled overhead. Fear and uncertainty became part of their routine. The standoff soon erupted into armed clashes, with gunfire echoing through the palm oil plantations. The violence resulted in casualties on both sides, leaving families grieving and communities shaken. The violence brought the long-standing question of Sabah's ownership into sharp international focus, drawing attention from governments and media across the globe. In response, Malaysian forces launched Operation Sovereignty, a coordinated military effort to end the crisis and restore order to the region. The operation eventually succeeded in breaking the standoff, but the scars, both physical and emotional, remained visible throughout Lahad Datu. The Lahad Datu incident forced both Malaysia and the Philippines to confront the deep-rooted and complex dispute over Sabah, sparking new rounds of diplomatic tension and debate. It was no longer just a historical argument. It had become a modern crisis with real, devastating consequences for ordinary people. The events of 2013 proved that Sabah's ownership is not just about history, but about security, stability, and the very identity of its people. The world was reminded that unresolved history can erupt into violence at any moment, threatening peace and stability. The question of Sabah's future was now impossible to ignore, lingering in the minds of leaders and citizens alike. The standoff was over, but the dispute was far from settled. The legacy of Lahad Datu continues to shape the region's future, a stark reminder that history is never truly past. Sabah, perched on the northern tip of Borneo, is a land of breathtaking beauty. Its ancient rainforests, towering mountains, and rich, unspoiled coastlines create a landscape unlike any other in Southeast Asia. The region's natural wonders are both awe-inspiring and vital to the people who live here. Mount Kinabalu, the highest peak in Malaysia, dominates the skyline, standing as a symbol of strength and resilience. Beneath the waves, the Coral Triangle's waters teem with vibrant marine life, making Sabah a global hotspot for biodiversity and a haven for nature lovers. But Sabah's wealth isn't just natural, it is also economic. The state holds vast reserves of oil and gas, valuable timber, and sprawling palm oil plantations that fuel both local livelihoods and international industries. Its abundant resources and strategic location along key shipping routes make Sabah a coveted prize in Southeast Asia, drawing the attention of neighboring nations and global powers alike. Over 3 million people call Sabah home, a vibrant tapestry woven from more than 30 indigenous groups, as well as Malays, Chinese, and immigrants from across the region. This diversity shapes Sabah's unique culture and daily life. For these communities, Sabah is not just a territory on a map, it is their identity, their heritage, and the source of their livelihood, passed down through generations. The dispute over Sabah is a complex web, woven from threads of history, law, economics, and the everyday lives of its people. It is a story that continues to evolve, affecting everyone who calls Sabah home. For Malaysia, Sabah is an integral and inseparable state. For the Philippines, it remains a matter of historical right and national pride, fueling ongoing debates and diplomatic tensions. Caught in the middle are ordinary Sabahans, whose futures and dreams are shaped by this uncertainty, as they navigate the challenges and hopes that come with living in a land of contention. The question of ownership is not just about land or borders, but about the people who live, work, and raise families here. People whose lives are deeply intertwined with Sabah's fate. To truly understand the roots of this conflict, we must look deep into the past, sifting through centuries of history and the legacies left behind. The seeds of today's dispute were sown centuries ago, in a time of shifting empires, colonial ambitions, and ancient agreements that still echo in the present. To understand Sabah's dispute, we travel back centuries to the era of the Brunei and Sulu sultanates. Borneo, including Sabah, was once under Brunei's influence. In the 17th century, a civil war in Brunei led the Sultan to seek help from Sulu. In gratitude, Brunei ceded North Borneo to the Sultan of Sulu around 1704. The Sulu Sultanate ruled North Borneo for over a century, collecting tribute and exercising authority. This transfer is the foundation of the Philippine claim. Sovereignty passed to Sulu and, by extension, to the Philippines. The Sulu Sultanate's control was real and recognized, but the arrival of European colonial powers would soon change everything. The fate of Sabah was about to be rewritten. The heart of the Sabah dispute lies in an 1878 agreement between the Sultan of Sulu and British representatives. The key word pajak. Was it a lease or a cession? The Philippines and Sulu heirs say it was a lease. Sovereignty was never surrendered. The British, and later Malaysia, argue it was a permanent cession. The document's ambiguous language has fueled over a century of legal debate. Annual payments were made to the Sultan's heirs, rent or a token of cession. Malaysia calls them cession payments. The Philippines calls them rent. After the 2013 Lahad Datu incident, Malaysia stopped the payments, deepening the rift. This single document remains the legal battleground. Was Sabah leased or ceded? The answer is still fiercely contested. The ambiguity continues to shape the dispute today. The Philippines claims Sabah through the Sulu Sultanate, arguing the 1878 agreement was a lease. In 1962, Sulu heirs transferred their rights to the Philippine government, which sees itself as the rightful successor. Malaysia counters, the agreement was a cession, and sovereignty passed to the British, then to Malaysia. Malaysia also invokes self-determination. Before joining Malaysia in 1963, Sabahans chose their future. International law and the United Nations recognize Sabah's incorporation into Malaysia. For the Philippines, it's about historical justice. For Malaysia, it's settled law and the will of the people. Both sides present compelling arguments, but neither is willing to back down. The legal battle is ongoing, with no resolution in sight. The question of Sabah's status remains a diplomatic flashpoint. As British rule ended, the idea of Malaysia emerged, uniting Malaya, Singapore, Sarawak, and North Borneo, Sabah. The cobbled commission was formed in 1962 to gauge Sabahans' views. After extensive consultations, the commission found most Sabahans supported joining Malaysia, some with conditions. The United Nations sent its own mission to verify the process. The UN confirmed the majority favored joining Malaysia. On September 16, 1963, Malaysia was born, with Sabah as a founding state. For Malaysia, this act of self-determination is the final word. The Philippines and Indonesia objected, calling it neo-colonialism, but the international community recognized the outcome. For many Sabahans, their choice was clear. The referendum is central to Malaysia's claim. Sabahans chose their own destiny. The historical claims remain, but the people's will was decisive. The 1963 decision still shapes Sabah's identity today. The dispute, however, did not end there. The border between Sabah and the southern Philippines is a relatively recent construct. For centuries, the Sulu Sea served as a bridge, connecting rather than dividing these regions. It was a vibrant corridor of exchange and interaction. Trade, migration, and shared cultural practices have long linked the peoples of Sulu and Sabah, creating a tapestry of interconnected lives and traditions. The Bajau Laut, often referred to as sea gypsies, move freely across this maritime region, living a life deeply intertwined with the sea. Over the years, waves of migration from the Philippines have established a large Filipino community in Sabah. Some are citizens, while others remain stateless, navigating complex identities. This community significantly contributes to Sabah's economy and cultural landscape, yet it also brings challenges, such as strain on public services, social tensions, and ongoing debates over citizenship and belonging. The 2013 Lahad Datu incident heightened suspicion and fear, casting a shadow over the region's intricate social fabric. The human connection across the Sulu Sea is both deep and complex, woven through generations of shared experiences and histories. Migration and kinship are integral parts of Sabah's story, continuously shaping its society and political landscape, influencing policies and community dynamics. The dispute is not merely about borders, it is about people, shared history and the enduring ties that bind them. The ties that bind Sabah and the southern Philippines are older than any modern nation, rooted in centuries of cultural exchange and mutual influence. To truly understand Sabah, one must delve into these cultural crosscurrents, appreciating the rich tapestry of its history and identity. Today, Sabah is a vibrant state within Malaysia, proud of its unique identity and diversity. Its capital, Kota Kinabalu, is a modern city, but many rural areas still face poverty and underdevelopment. Sabah's economy thrives on oil, gas, palm oil, and tourism. The state's indigenous cultures, along with Malay, Chinese, and Filipino influences, create a rich mosaic. Challenges remain: illegal immigration, security concerns, and debates over state rights and autonomy. Many Sabahans feel promises made in 1963 have not been fully honored. For most, daily concerns, jobs, education, infrastructure, matter more than the territorial dispute. The Philippine claim is a recurring topic, but Sabahans focus on building their future within Malaysia. Stability, peace, and development are their priorities. The historical dispute is seen by many as a distraction from real-life challenges. Who owns Sabah? The answer depends on history, law, and most importantly, the people. For Malaysia, the case is closed. Sabahans chose Malaysia in 1963. For the Philippines, it's an unresolved claim of historical justice. But for Sabahans, their identity is Malaysian, and their future is tied to Malaysia. The idea of changing nationality is alien to most. The Lahad Datu standoff showed the dangers of unresolved disputes. Peaceful resolution requires dialogue, respect, and cooperation. The future of Sabah must be determined by its people. Their voices and welfare should guide any discussion. History matters, but the present and future belong to those who call Sabah home.